Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Spumela Lezondi with your technology and social media news. Today I'm coming to you from the new extension of the Promenade in Durban. Remember that you can find us on SABC Network. Now that's on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Use network at sabc.co.za on email. This week, our Twitter poll is asking you if you think the tiff between America and Chinese tech giant Huawei will ever be over. This as America has put some new limitations on chips and other hardware that come from the Chinese tech giant. But results of that are coming up later in the program. But first, here's what's coming up tonight. We give you some gift ideas that you can use for Christmas. We have information on a deal signed by Ethiopia and e-commerce site Alibaba. And our discussion is looking at tech and girls in that particular sector. We know how difficult it can be to come up with Christmas ideas, especially if there are so few days that are left before Christmas. So we decided to give you some help. And no, it's not a holiday to Durban, but it's some gadgets and other technologies that you can buy as last Christmas gifts for those that you love.
It is that time of the year again, and most of you are probably cracking your heads about what Christmas gifts to get your loved ones. But worry no more, because I'm here to show you some of the cool gadgets that can make for great Christmas presents.
First, it is this Samsung latest Galaxy smartphone, the Note 10.
The Samsung Note 10 is Samsung's latest smartphone. It is high-end and is made for that high-end smartphone lover. And it is a bit on the pricey side, but it does make for a great Christmas gift. We all know now that smartphones are a definite must-have. Some are a bit pricey, while some are pretty reasonable, like this Mara phone. This could make a great gift for your young ones, your teenagers, or a non-extensive smartphone user. And they are locally made.
Late in time, behold him come.
Now, smartwatches are a definite must-haves for those loved ones that are always on the go. Like this Galaxy smartwatch that is connected to your smartphone, and also the Huawei GT smartwatch that you can wear while you jog and is definitely connected to other devices.
These smartwatches allow you to receive notifications as well as phone call alerts while away from your handset.
The DJI Mavic Mini Drone is one of the coolest gifts you can ever get for your loved ones, but you definitely have to have a license to fly it in public spaces.
The heaven-born Prince of Peace, hail the Son of...
Again, it is the holiday season, and this LG Boom Go Bluetooth speaker is set to keep the festive mood alive wherever you go.
Let's go to Ethiopia now, where the government has signed an agreement to make the capital, Addis Ababa, a hub for the electronics world trade platform, Alibaba, which comes from China.
Alibaba's founder Jack Ma hailed the growth potential of Africa and has vowed to help nurture the already strong spirit of young entrepreneurs so as to help the continent develop.
Africa has a huge potential, but there's one problem, is logistics. So Ethiopia has the best airlines in Africa, and we need to build up the logistic hub. And I think if we're talking about inclusiveness, we're talking about sustainable growth. If Africa does not develop, if Africa economy is not developed because of its own entrepreneurs, its own internal power, that will be bad.
Ma made the remarks on Monday after the Alibaba Group, the company he founded in 1999, signed a memorandum of understanding with Ethiopia. This was to create what is called the Electronic World Trade Platform, which many see as a game-changing initiative to promote the digital economy of the East African country.
I think, as I said, I need to have focus on Africa should need focus on 4 things, 4 E's: entrepreneur, education, e-government, and infrastructure. So I should start with the entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs, those people create, those people innovative, those people constructive. So if I found there are so many young entrepreneurs in Africa. They're excellent. They have a great thinking. They have great ideas. So how we can train them in a way that can develop Africa. So my Jack Ma Foundation will start focusing on the entrepreneurship first, to try to encourage more entrepreneurs.
Ma, who formally stood down as chairman of the Alibaba Group in September, said that it will take joint efforts among the brightest entrepreneurs to develop Africa and achieve sustainable growth. He cited 4 areas of focus dubbed the 4 E's, namely entrepreneurship, education, e-government and e-infrastructure.
In Nigeria, a local bank card manufacturer is seeing the future in technologies that come with the cards. Let's find out what they're thinking of.
SecurID, a Nigerian manufacturing and technology company, makes bank cards, mobile phone SIMs, and voting cards, which it said it creates for businesses in 21 African countries.
If I were to go to a bank at that point in time to request for a card, it could take 3 months to 6 months for my cards to come. And so that was a gap that I saw in the system. And the idea came, and the idea was to actually set up a world-class manufacturing plant that offers smart card solutions and digital solutions, not just for Nigeria, but for Africa.
SecurID started by importing bank cards before certification from Visa, MasterCard, and Verve to make cards around 2 years after the company was set up. She said it previously took months for imported cards to arrive from Asia and Europe.
What gives us so much joy is that is able to convert a lot of a lot of what we import to being locally produced, and that is what I think the entire continent should focus on. We're not just in manufacturing, but we're in manufacturing and technology, So it's the 2 areas where we were basically consumers, And so it's just nice to be part of the story, to be able to be the first to create this sort of plant here.
In sub-Saharan Africa, only 43% of people aged above 15% have a bank account, according to the World Bank Global Findex database. That figure has gone from 34% since 2014, highlighting the potential for growth. Nigeria's central bank has implemented policies aimed at encouraging a move away from cash, as have Ghana, Kenya and Rwanda, in large part motivated by efforts to tackle fraud, theft and money laundering.
It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Use network at sabc.co.za on email. After the break, we chat with Amanda Mate from Kagaza Girl about why it's still so difficult to get women into the tech sector. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Use network at sabc.co.za on email. Welcome back. We went to the small town of Howick to meet kids who were creating tech solutions to solve some of today's problems. Howick is known for its waterfall called Kwanogaza and the Mandela capture site. It's also known for agriculture. That's why Geek Culture chose agriculture and tourism for its recent VAC work program for kids.
Our solution was to come up with a device that will help farmers water the plants economically. So this device would water the plants, and maybe if you need 40% of water, it will stop automatically at 40%, and it doesn't need electricity because it had solar panels to be used.
They partnered with Kagaza Girl and Vodacom.
It's an initiative that talks to our purpose as an organization, and it's really around the contribution that we can make to education in large. We're moving into a world of digitalization, and it's equally important that us as Vodacom are also taking part and also contributing.
The kids were in one room as they came up with apps, websites and IoT solutions. In the end, winners were chosen.
These are kids from the age of 14 all the way to 22. And our stance is that we might have had number 1, 2 and 3 and other categories where they have won some prizes, but importantly it is the learning throughout this initiative from day 1, day 2, of course, to the last day.
It's really nice having to walk away with something in regards to working hard on all the projects that we are working on.
I feel grateful and excited, yes.
The concern is that girls were very few and many of those there were not taking it seriously enough. But there were some female winners.
My group did an app, a mobile app. It's based on agriculture and tourism. So yeah, it mostly talks about the tourism, like how you can agriculture.
Geek Culture has wrapped up its school vacation programs for the year. They say they'd love to return to Howick in future to teach more young kids about technology. Amanda, first of all, thank you very much for being a part of our network. Maybe if we can start by talking about the number of women that are in the tech sector in the South African space.
Well, what we know in the context of South Africa is that 23% of the roles are filled by women. We don't know if they are in directorship roles, whether they're the core developers of solutions and instigating change in their companies. But what is critical is that we need to change that average at least to get it to 50, if not 70%. We have a lot of solutions that are catering for women but not being spearheaded by women. The likes of Shirley Sandberg from Facebook, the CEO of Facebook, makes it a critical impact for her to talk to having women in such spaces, particularly in the digital media sector.
What roles do we normally find women in?
So what we have often found is that when they start out, in the context of what we've done as a girl, is notice that the girls will start out as interns in project administrative roles. They'll either be a junior software developer or program software developer, and never really elevate into either the account lead or the project lead or the digital transformation lead in those roles, primarily because a lot of these roles are managed and owned by men in the sector. And again, because young girls in the sector don't see females leading, they don't see women of color leading in this sector, therefore they end up venturing into the softer skills, so your like of digital content creation, your design spaces, and hardly do you find women actively involved in the data sciences sector or in the spaces in which they are the ones designing the solutions.
Why do you think the numbers of women in the tech sector are that low?
I think the starting foundation is really our education. We've not developed girls yet to be critical thinkers, and that's twofold. There's education, there's culture, and there's societal impacts on that. So you have a young girl that's in high school that takes part in coding programs, understands coding, but does not have the critical thinking of utilizing their knowledge they've gained to solve solutions. Then further to this, you elevate her into university to participate in the engineering or STEM education, and they still don't see somebody they can relate to. There's not enough mentors in the space. And while they may want to pursue the sector, the biggest hindrance to young women in the sector has been their confidence and not knowing how to elevate or structure their career path in the sector. Yes, we have a lot of women in this country, and a lot of women are spearheading a lot of different various elements of roles. But what is critically needed for the STEM and ICT sector is women willing to change the way work is done. So let's not just employ engineering graduates with degrees, but also let's make it inclusive of diploma and certificate TVET graduates, which is what we have found as a girl, where opportunities are singularly made for degree graduates as opposed to diploma. And that's not necessarily because of a labor law per se, but based on perceptions people have. We found that diploma graduates are more intuitive and initiative based, so they get the work done far quicker than that of a degree graduate. And that's not to say both can't equally play in the playing field, but that's to say that let's level the playing field equally enough for all girls to participate in the sector.
Do we see this changing anytime soon? Do we, for example, see the sector itself taking up some of the recommendations that you're making here?
Well, what we've done as an entity is that we've submitted this to our co-funders and our project partners in terms of the initiative in KZN. We're hoping that it will influence the way programs are designed. The era of just creating programs to solve a problem or to tick box and exercise is changing. I mean, the rise of design thinking and human-centered design is now forcing us to say, are we essentially solving a problem? That's the question we asked ourselves as a girl. Are we solving a problem, or are we actually creating an opportunity? And what we found is we didn't need to create a program that trains girls into ICC, but what we needed to do was create the bridging platform for them to access work opportunities. And essentially that means learning to actually shut up and listen to the girls and have them unpack what they want to achieve and how they foresee their future.
Amanda Mate, thank you very much for being a part of our network. It is the SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Welcome back. Now here's what else took place in the rest of the world in the technology space.
Passengers can order an Indigo taxi scooter using an app developed by the Tunisian startup.
We
launched the taxi scooter because we saw the biggest obstacle for the Tunisian people in transportation. No matter their social group, age or gender, everyone has a transportation problem. So we decided to provide a solution to this urgent problem that we're facing. But this is not our final goal. Our vision goes beyond that. We want to lay the groundwork for the prosperity of digital economy.
At least 30% lower than the price of an ordinary taxi, Indigo's taxi scooters are not only more affordable, but also easier and quicker to find on Tunisia's busy streets. And now in Italy. Sea waves are a renewable high-density form of energy, 20 times more powerful than solar, but despite this, it's one of the most untapped power sources in the world. Italian energy company Eni is working to change this.
ICEWEC, standing for Inertial Sea Wave Energy Converter, exploits the physics of the gyroscopes to convert the oscillation of the hull induced by the wave motion into electrical energy.
The technology, first installed off the coast of northern Italy at the Ravenna site, can adapt to different sea conditions and capture more energy than competing technologies. It's an example of sustainable energy which can generate energy from waves in any sea condition. And now in China. The country said on Wednesday it firmly opposes the United States' abuse of export control measures to interfere with the normal cooperation between businesses after Reuters reported that the Trump administration is planning to limit exports of sophisticated technology to adversaries like China.
China firmly opposes the U.S. generalization of the concept of national security and abuse of export control measures to interfere and restrict with the normal communications and cooperation between businesses. We urge the U.S. to do more for the mutual trust and cooperation and not the opposite.
Speaking at a regular news conference in Beijing, Foreign Ministry spokesman Gang Shuang said limiting tech exports will not disrupt China's innovation or development. We asked if you thought that the tiff between America and Huawei will ever end, and 17% of you responded yes, while 27% voted no. 44% of you said that you don't really care, while 13% think that this matter is not important.
And that's it. That's all we have for you. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. From me, Spumelele Zondi, and the rest of the team right here in Durban, thank you very much for being a part of our network. Have a good one. Bye-bye.